Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This one will be ranking all 99 contracts that have ever been made. I personally define a contract type thing as the recent Halloween events, Christmas event, or the egg hunts from the Easter events. Let's be honest, they're all like the same system in the end, so it doesn't really matter, you know, despite what their name may say. This ranking will be numbered, but will also be separated from F to S tiers if it was an actual tier list as well. So like, it would be like, oh, there's 99 to 91 in F tier, and then like in F tier, like you'll understand probably, you know. I hope I have some faith in you guys. Also, this video is recorded in the midst of the Christmas crafting update of 2024, which personally I have some thoughts on, but that could be its own video. And one final thing, I swear, probably, I'm making this video, did not realize that Duck Adam already made a video on the like exact same topic. I did not really watch this video fully to not influence my own opinions, but you guys voted it's okay, and Duck Adam said it was okay in private, so you guys should watch this video after this as well, probably. I don't really know. It's probably good. The ranking of each of these contracts will mainly be based on how you actually get the contract, you know, but the rewards could also be a small factor. The actual design of the contract, like the way it looks, may affect the ranking more than you might think. A lot of the higher up contracts are simply there because they look very cool. And also a minor other thing, recently my mic has been doing this weird thing where it like glitches out and does a weird sound. I don't really know why it happens. I've tried to fix it, but I can't figure it out, so sorry if you hear it throughout this video. Anyway, subscribe and let's get into the tier list, I guess. What do I usually look for in a contract? Mainly something that you wouldn't be able to do before the update. For example, all of the RNG contracts are boring because there's nothing new, but a minigame contract like the virtual egg is high up because it provides something new in the game, like a whole new minigame, you know, something like new and exciting, you know, which is, you know, what we probably should be expecting from an event. But what if, think about it, they made a contract that was not only RNG, but also had a quest so boring and uncreative that it would be perfectly fine with ranking it at number 99. Well, I do, unfortunately, I guess, have the answer for you. Starting off in F tier, number 99, the worst contract in all of Tower Heroes history is the Clockwork Egg. Literally, the way you get it is to wait 40 minutes. Truly an incredible feat of humanity, just to wait. And then they have the audacity to make it an RNG egg on Timeless Tower. What are they doing? You might be able to pick this up early, but I absolutely despise RNG eggs with a passion. I happened to get this egg while doing another contract that took a while. But I imagine how bad this could be, you know, if you weren't as lucky as I was, you know, who happened to take a game, who happened to make a game take, like, over, like, an hour. I think it was Pyro Panic, which, you know, makes sense. Also, the design of this egg, it's literally just a clock, you know? Anyways, at number 99, did I say number 99? Am I really that dumb? Yeah, sorry, I meant 98 here. I don't know why I said 99. Anyways, at number 99 is another RNG egg, the Necromancer egg. No one likes adventure mode, and they decided to make it a chance to appear in adventure mode. The worst part about it is that it had a lot of health for some reason. Like, literally, there was like no other egg in the egg hunts that had this bad of like, or sorry, this much HP. Like, I don't know why. So you could get it very early on, and then you would not be able to kill it. Literally, you could ask anybody and they would tell you that they have a bad story about getting this specific egg, okay? At number 97 is the Pixel Egg, and at number 96 is the Pixel Egg. They both have the same name. The way to get these two eggs are basically exactly the same. Someone has to buy a 2,000 Robux game pass in order to shoot the eggs out and give people the egg. At the beginning of the event, the devs were going around giving it to people, but like, come on, this is just a bag. Whoa, bag egg. That's crazy. Yeah, you should probably cut this part out. This is just a bad egg with no real creativity or passion put behind it. So I will be putting the 2023 one up above the 2024 one because it gives a Waffle instead of Herald. And, you know, I like Waffle more. Oh, and by the way, according to the wiki, which is, you know, what I'm kind of basing this entire video off of, it says that there was a small chance for a Bite or Chef Egg to be replaced by a Pixel Egg, but I have never heard anyone say that before. And even if it is true, still means it's an RNG egg, so it deserves to be this low. At number 95 is the 2D egg. You got a small chance of opening a sticker pack during the event, and then you would, get it. Very cool game. And at the same thing is number 94, the painted egg. Instead of being a sticker pack, it's opening in a crate. How insane. But really the only reason this is above the 2D egg is because it gives the painted bunny skin. Alright, painted egg bunny skin, close enough. But like, I think like the painted egg is probably generally worse than the 2D egg because there's only one chance of getting it, rather than the sticker pack when you had 3 chances of getting it per pack, but I think like the skin probably makes up for it because it is probably one of like the best bunny skins, honestly. So, And number 93 is the Egg of Friendship. To get it, you simply have to win a game with a Roblox friend in your server. Not only this is kind of boring, I mean the design is alright, I guess, but it also reminds me that I have no friends. Number 92 is the Coin Egg. This one's really inspiring. Basically, you go to the shop and spend 150 coins to get it. Truly a marvel in today's society. I'm really glad that humanity has worked this far up. So much creativity has gone into this world to make the Coin Egg. Also, the design is just a coin. Like, they literally took the coin image and just stretched it out to like an oval. Truly incredible. Anyways, the final F tier contract might be a little bit unexpected, but I'm going to put up number 91. It's Toothy Deer Man. This is the gameplay of getting it. Wow, I'm very glad that humanity has really come to such a creative point, But that is the end of F tier. We're finally in D tier. Very exciting. I know. I promise it'll get more interesting, but it is what it is, honestly. I mean, you clicked on this video for a reason. And the first D tier is number 90, Forgotten Gift. This contract is so insanely confusing, but I'll try to explain it the best way I can. So the way to get it is very simple, right? You just had to win a Christmas map, and it would spawn with 5,000 health. Wow, that was weird. It would spawn with 5,000 health. That's literally it. What is weird is the fact that it was added after the event was already released, not even in the contract menu. It was added alongside the Holiday Rumble update, but I believe to try to distract us from finding the map. But then they already added the PvP mimic to distract us, so I don't really understand. It doesn't even give her like a reward, so it's just useless. The next 25 contracts I'll be mentioning are all RNG based eggs. The actual spot they're in could change, but being honest, all they are just RNG eggs. I hate them so much. So yeah, there's 25 of them, so I'm gonna be rapid fire throwing these. So don't really take these numbers too close to heart. If you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that captured egg is number 81, oh my god, like it doesn't really matter. Like they could be swapped in or out, it doesn't really matter. So let's begin. At number 89 is Kate, or Cat, I don't really know how to pronounce it. Number 88 is the Visitor. Number 87 is Fuzzy. Number 86 is Tidal Egg. Number 85 is Ghostly Egg. Number 84 is Jester Egg. Number 83 is Egg Shroom. Number 82 is Body Swap Egg. That one's not RNG, I just don't like the egg. Number 81 is Captured Egg. Number 90 is Nuki Egg. Number 79 is Raid Egg. Number 78 is Tiny Egg. Number 77, a very cool number, is Lemon Egg. Number 76 is Cosmic Egg. Number 75 is Dumpster Egg. Number 74 is Slime Egg. Crazy. Number 73 is Goblin Egg. Number 72 is Moki, I don't know. Number 71 is Festive Enemies. Number 70 is Frog Boy. Number 69, nice, is Nekomata. Number 68 is Pixies. Number 67 is Creepy Guy. Number 66 is Cage Creep. And finally, number 65 is Snowflakes. Just like that. All in one take. I'm crazy. Just like that, we saw that a quarter, 1/4 of all contracts in this game are RNG based. That's kind of insane. By the way, in the Easter 2023 update, 11 out of the 25 eggs were RNG based. 12 out of 25 if you wanted to go on a stretch and say Bite Egg as well, because it's technically RNG in the lobby. But that's basically 50%, So, Anyways, now jumping all the way to 64, which is insane, by the way, is, a normally pretty bad contract, Snowball. To get him, you have to win a game with basically all summoners. You need 15 summoners on the track at once. So you're basically going into a game with all summoners. And summoners are laggy and stuff. And overall, not that interesting. So it's just kind of meh. You know, the design's alright, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just not for me. Number 63, which I think people did not expect to rank this high, but due to the RNG eggs, got boosted up a lot, is Egg of Impending Doom. You have to play sudden death in PvP mode, which is like what happens after 40 waves, if you don't know. And PvP mode is very boring, in case you did not know, and it's not that fun. Yeah, it's not good at all. Number 62 is the Hexa Egg. To get it, you have to play adventure mode and get a map piece that has like a spawner with the egg in it. Again, no one likes adventure mode, so you know. Number 61 is Reflector. To get it, you have to use a special sabotage called Mirror, not like the regular mirror, like it's like a different one with a question mark to spawn it. And overall, the whole thing is just kind of annoying. Generally, I think it's a bad contract, and I don't really like the contracts that are like PvP sabotage base, or like you have to, you know, like use a specific like sabotage just to spawn it. Also, like I get like they do place differently, but due to like their designs, you know, they place higher or lower. I think Reflector just has like the weakest design, honestly. Even though it looks kind of cool, I think it's not that interesting. Now, number 60 is the Pumpkin Twins. I think the contract is kind of boring. You just have to light up a pumpkin and wait for them to spawn after the final boss wave. The real thing dragging this down is that it's on Pumpkin Paranoia, which is just not fun, you know, like who likes Pumpkin Paranoia, you know? Now, number 59 is the Egg of Modification. You just have to win with 6 modifiers on at once on like casual mode or something. Pretty unique idea, but modifiers in general are not that fun to use unless you're doing like a boss rush or something, but overall it's just pretty meh. Also, like the design, I mean, it's cool, but you know, it could be better. Number 58 is the Noob Inside Egg. They literally just took a daily quest and make it an egg. You just have to win up with a player on your team at level 15 or less, which is just an already existing daily quest. You could literally accidentally get this egg. You could go into the egg hunt not knowing that this egg exists and accidentally get it by doing one of your daily quests. Truly incredible. Truly incredible. But I like the design and like the reference of the egg, so it's, you know, it's fine. And the final D tier contract. Finally moving on to C tier, but we have one final one, at number 57, Molly Egg. It will appear after defeating Kugel, the boss on Metaverse Madness. Only one person can get it per game, which is kind of annoying if you're doing it on a team. Also, this genuinely might be the worst, or I guess most uncreative egg design in the entire game. You have things like, you know, Egg Shroom, which come really close to it, but at least that looks somewhat different from like the Mushroom Enemy. This one is literally just Molly. They could change the model of Molly and no one would notice. It is just like, come on, bro, you can't do that. And now, almost 8 minutes. I already hit mid-roll ads. Let's go. Already full mid-roll ads in. We are finally out of D tier. Moving on into C tier. The beginning two are hard to tell which one's better because they're like literally the exact same, just in different events. Is the Chef Egg and Bite Egg. Both are insanely easy. They literally just spawn randomly in the lobby. You could literally just like, come on, everyone has it, you know. And both are pretty uncreative designs. It's literally just like the hero models, but the thing that makes these a lot better than like something like an RNG egg is, one, because it's not RNG, and two, because of the incredible, absolutely incredible rewards that they give. Like these, like somehow the easiest eggs in the game literally give some of the best skins in the game. I think Bite Egg gets the slight edge because I like the mini skin laser more. Also, it's insanely easy and should be put down more, but at least it's spawning in the lobby is way better than having like RNG egg replace it, you know, so it's probably fine. Number 54, Toxic Hazmask. A pretty new one, actually. I think it was in the latest Halloween update, but it's pretty low. To get it, you have to click on a spray paint in Grand Garage, and you have to beat a quest in Pumpkin Paranoia. It's kind of difficult, but not really that bad, and I like the design of the spray paint, but I think the boss design itself is a little bit lacking, I'm not gonna lie. It's not that crazy, you know. So yeah. At number 53 is the Slime King egg. To get it, you have to beat Castletown using only Slime King, which is very much possible. Don't get me wrong, but like no one else can be in your loadout. Like even if you don't place them down, you have to only have Slime King in your loadout. Overall, kind of like a funny egg, but I don't know, it's just not that good. Another thing that kind of drags us down is like if you use a summoner on Castletown, the main issue with it is that there's like that split path, you know, in like the middle area, which kind of is pretty annoying, but you know, it is what it is. Finally, I don't know why I said finally. Number 52 is the Egg of Close Calls. It's kind of like Meltdown, but in egg form. Well, Meltdown's way higher in this tier list, don't get me wrong, but yeah, this is when you just have to win the boss round while the base is at 10% health or less. The egg design itself is kind of boring, and it's all around not that interesting, so, you know, whatever. At number 51 is the Lonely Egg. At least I can sympathize with this one. To get it, you just can't place heroes for the first 5 waves, which is kind of funny, not gonna lie. It's not that bad of a quest. I like how the design is the Egg of Friendship. That also drags it down a bit, but you know, overall it's pretty generic egg, you know, but you know, it's a little bit worse than usual. At number 50 is the Blooming Egg, and at number 49 is the Power Egg. They're both gotten in similar ways to find the egg somewhere, with the Blooming Egg being in Gleaming Garden and the Power Egg being in an abandoned alleyway, and have certain heroes activate them. Overall, the actual way of getting them is pretty boring, but the Power Egg is better because it gives a cool reward, but like the designs of the eggs are not that good, and like the actual way of getting them is still very boring, which drags it down a lot. At number 48 is the Egg of Champions. Win on PvP mode. That's literally, it's only this high because I love the way that the egg looks for some reason. Granted, I'm probably biased because I really like Card Kid, but I don't know. I feel like the trophy just works very well. I don't know why. I think maybe it's like a very smooth color, you know, that makes it look a lot better, but I don't know. I just like it a lot. Number 47 is the Troublemaker Egg. This is similar to Reflector, who's at number 61, but instead, how much is that? 14 places higher, where you just use a sabotage that's specific to this egg. But I like this one a lot more because the egg just looks very cool. Like I said, the design of these eggs are your contracts are gonna really heavily, you know, inspire a lot of these rankings. And number 46 is Scrooge, and number 45 is Evoker. Same thing as well, kind of. Scrooge can spawn by using the Taxes Sabotage in PvP mode, and Evoker can spawn by using the Vengeful Sabotage. Evoker's slightly easier, because at least he has a chance to appear as RNG, but he does have 12,000 health. So do with that with what you will, you know. It's also, they're a little bit better than the other ones because they don't have like a specific sabotage, which I know I said like I like things that are, you know, new to the game, something they couldn't do before, but like it's not really like that crazy, you know. So oh well. Number 44 is the Egg of Daily Quests. Not very interesting, but to get it, surprisingly, you have to do all 3 of your daily quests. Technically, this could be the worst egg in the game, depending on your quests, but you could always just wait another day for them to refresh, so it doesn't really matter. And number 43 is Conductor. I actually really like the way it begins. Simply don't vote for difficulty on Canyon Calamity. I don't know why, I just really like that. It's pretty interesting. The waves are kind of difficult, and the boss is on a train, which feels copied from the Tiny Crew train thing, but you know, the Ghost guy himself also seems kind of weird to me. Like, he looks unfinished. I don't know why, but yeah, overall pretty meh. But I don't know. I think it's a unique way of actually spawning a contract, but the actual like whole quest thing about it, like a whole like, you know, new waves, but like I don't know. It's just very weird. Number 42 is Imp. To get it, you have to use a sabotage named Imp on PvP mode. I guess literally the same as Troublemaker Egg and, you know, all that. But this one gives a cool Jetster skin. Hey, so quick editor's note here. Oh, when I was making this, I thought that you had to get the Imp contract in order to actually get, like, the skin. But it turns out you just need to reach 8 contracts in the event. Like, just in general. So, that one's on me, my bad. I mean, still, I think I probably would put it lower then. So, yeah, I would put this more at, like, in, like, the 50s, probably. So, yeah, sorry about that. And I like the design a lot more, even though it's very simple, you know. And number 41 is Lights Out. I have no idea why I love this contract so much. You literally just kill Lampy. It's just funny to me. At number 40 is Crank. You have to go into Toy Takeover and keep feeding him mana. I mean, yeah, it's just a nutcracker, but you know. A total of 137,000 mana. That is, by the way, which is, you know, not very easy to get if you're doing like a easy mode, only 25 rounds, you know. So then, you know, after you give him the 137,000 mana, he'll spawn on the track and you can just easily kill him. Even though it is just a nutcracker, I think the design's pretty nice, honestly. And with that out of the way, we are finally out of C tier and now in B tier. Now the contracts are actually decent, although I do have to say, at number 39 is Draco Bloxer. I know, I get it. Okay, I get it. But hear me out on this one, okay? I did get carried getting this contract with Odyssey. He basically just carried me on it. But I think it's really cool. First of all, the reference is of course great. I like classic type stuff, which have the most ridiculous effects imaginable for no reason at all, like the bosses for Disaster Hotel, which just destroy heroes, and like the entire map of Build to Survive is very cool. The way to spawn them is cool as well. You have to fly into one of those like VIP rooms using one of the new morphs that would like make you fly, you know, and after that you have to kill 4 to 5 of them, which is the hard part, and they stun heroes and they kill them and whatever, but I think it's still very cool. Now of course everyone's experiences on these are different, but this is my tier list, so also understand this is like not like the most, you know, like unpopular thing, because I know Doors did the April Fool's update where they included Draco Bloxers, but you know, at least it's something, you know. Anyways, that all out of the way, I still know I'm gonna get hate for putting Draco Bloxers that high, but whatever. Number 38, Clown Zombie. To get this guy, you have to be Build to Survive with only using 25 builds or less. Being honest, Build to Survive is not that bad of a map when played on easy, which is what you can do for this guy. Like, medium and hard mode are absolutely horrible, but the easy mode's pretty fun, honestly. The main reason he's high is because of the funny fact that the game is literally calling you a clown for not only playing Build to Survive, but also not placing builds. So, you know, also I think the design is very simple but effective. I think it's pretty good. Number 37 is Lumber. Oh my god, the design is carrying this guy. You have to go into a abandoned alleyway and place fences in front of this guy until he literally just goes insane and begins bolting to your base, ignoring every single build that you have. Not only is this insanely chaotic, but as I just said, the design is carrying this hard. Look at this contract. It looks incredible, and the quest is pretty mediocre, which I think 37 is a pretty good place for it, honestly. And number 36 is Eternity. Go into Timeless Tower and take a picture of the clock with the streamer or visitor follower, which has that like unique property that you can take pictures or whatever. Then set the time to the clock on that on the picture that the streamer takes. Very good. I'm very good at explaining things, guys, trust. But it's a really interesting idea. But the thing dragging this down so much is the fact it's on Timeless Tower. I guess they couldn't really do this on any other map, but still, that does not defeat the fact it's on Timeless Tower, which is a horrible, you know, map. And number 35 is Experiment 43. Oh my god, after years, someone finally used the elevator. Oh wait, it's just an NPC. You have to find this fake player in a lobby, which is very cool. And then you have to hit them, and then you have to hit them into the elevators. So finally they're useful for once, and then you have to go into a match with them. You spawn in the game with the fake NPC. No idea how they coded that. I don't know how they coded that to work or whatever. And then throughout the game, the fake NPC will spawn spawners on the ground, spawning these annoying enemies constantly going out your base. I said spawn 3 times in the same sentence. Very cool. But anyways, it's a really cool idea, but the enemies are insanely annoying. I get it makes it a challenge and whatever, but I don't know, honestly. It's, yeah. Also, there's technically 2 different designs for this, like, contract, like, because, like, the one in, like, the picture are the enemies, but the boss is slightly different. But also the enemies, which is like the picture of the contract, looks kind of unfinished, but maybe that's like the point. Whatever. Most of these contracts above this one have more intriguing quests and designs, so I think it's a fine place to put it. And at number 34 is Streamer. To get this, you have to drag a painting into the abyss of Mangled Manor, and then the guy comes flying out of the painting and you get the contract. I know it's not the most intriguing contract, as I just said, but it reminds me of Luigi's Mansion, so it immediately gets bonus points. Plus, it's a reference to Poltergeist Perception, which is a great game. Also, the Morph has the unique feature of taking pictures. I know you can do it with the Visitor as well, but that contract is RNG. You know, the Visitor, so, you know. And number 33 is Inferno. On a Volcano Valley, the volcano will erupt. I know, very insane. I can't believe that a volcano would erupt on a map called Volcano Valley. Really insane. But anyways, so during the event, it would spawn these, like, fire things around the entire map, and then you have to kill them all for the boss to spawn. After that, he'll spawn, and then at the end, spew even more fire guys by exploding his head. Very cool. Anyways, it's really nicely designed, and the quest is pretty decent, so... Surprisingly high up is number 32, the Sugar Egg of Luca, and number 31, the Egg Boy Sugar Egg. Both are extremely similar, kind of like the Pixel Egg, where it's the same idea across two different events. One person starts with the egg. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe the devs, maybe, I don't know, maybe Luca for Egg Boy, or sorry, for the Luca Sugar Egg, and then maybe like Nuthead for Egg Boy Sugar Egg. I don't really know who it was. But anyways, so basically, the egg gives a morph, which allows you to give the egg to other people. It's basically like a virus, but with eggs. One person gives it to another, then they give it to a group, then a lobby, etc., etc. The egg one's higher because it gives a reward, but it's still just alright. I also like how they roll on eggs. It's very cool. And probably the last contract, maybe, as to why it's questioned, as why it's this high. Number 30 is Frozen Fish. It's so dumb. It's actually so dumb. You guys might be wondering why it's this high up. And honestly, I really do not know why either. To get it, you just have to have Jester roll the freeze effect on a fish enemy. That's literally it. I don't know why, but I just love this contract. It's so completely random and simple. And also the design of this fish looks funny to me. Sorry if you guys disagree, but the fish is cool. Literally. I'm so funny. And number 29 is Frosty Mountain. You have to find 2 items around the lobby, then get sent to a special quest to save this Tory person. No idea who they are. Probably some, like, random person. The whole Pixelbit lore. I don't even know. Does anyone even know the Pixelbit lore at this point? It's getting to, like, FNAF levels of lore, you know? Who even knows? But anyways, I like the idea of finding items scattered across the lobby to activate something, and the quest isn't that bad. Overall, very middle ranking, but I like the creativity of it. And number 28 is Overcooked. To get it, you have to kill the gingerbread and bustling bakery, and then this guy will spawn. He sets all the heroes on fire, except Unserved, of course, and it's insanely cool. This was actually used in another weekly called Sunburn, I believe, where there was a modifier where all the heroes would start to burn, and that's basically just what he does. The design is only alright though, but it fits the gingerbread theme, so it's fine, you know. We made a lot of jokes on stream about it, so it's a little bit higher because of the bias, but, you know, whatever. Alright, this time, this should be the final one as to why it's questioned as to why it's this high. Number 27 is Crystal Ball. To get it, literally just turn on hide enemies. It's that simple, and it has 50 HP. 50, so it's basically nothing. You could literally spawn it on wave 1 and probably end up killing it. I think the design is, again, simple, but it's very effective, honestly. Plus, it gets the added bonus of being a joke that was commonly done during my streams in this event, which I have a warm heart for. Like, randomly, it would just spawn because someone would turn on hide enemies. I don't know. You know, I also think it's funny how you use hide enemies to stop the lag of so many enemies, only for the game to spawn another enemy, so it's like the antithesis of what the button is used for, but, you know. Finally, I don't know why, I keep saying finally. At number 26 is Meltdown. Go into one of those facility maps, either Facility Raid or Facility Frenzy. I think that's the name, I don't know. And then get the core to red, which is basically just taking a lot of damage. If you've played, you know, the facility maps, you would understand that. Like, it goes, like, it starts at green, then goes to yellow, then goes to red. And then after the boss, or like the main boss dies, this guy spawns. Depending on the map, he can have wildly different stats, like literally insanely different stats, like up to like the millions. I think that seems wrong. Hold on. Let me do some research really quick. Okay, I assumed I was going insane, but no, I'm really right. On Facility Raid, it spawns with 1.2 million HP. And then on Facility Frenzy, he only spawns with 80,000 health. So, you know. But overall, it's a pretty somewhat difficult boss. Until the second phase, where he has 15,000 health. So, you know, depending on each map, it's always 15,000 health. And then starts running to your base at Mach speed and looks so goofy while doing so. He's ranked so high because of his great design as well. I mean, most other contracts in this game do not look this good. I mean, honestly, I think they really went so hard in on this design of like the Blastic Industries for this contract, and I like it a lot, you know. Next, at number 2.5 is Wereworker. To get it, you have to play Corporate Chaos with the time swap modifier, or play it past 7 p.m. like your actual time, like EST, PST, wherever you live. This will make it turn nighttime on the map. And I think Corporate might be the best looking map at nighttime. Honestly, I like the effects of like the buildings lighting up and stuff. I know that's not like the Wereworker's fault, but I still like it a lot, so I think it gets a bit of a boost. And yeah, once it's nighttime, he'll spawn with the Demolitionist. So a very average contract. I do have a heavy bias because he has a suitcase which somewhat resembles the Business Mimic, and despite the hundreds of attempts playing Corporate Chaos, I do actually like the map a lot. Next, number 24 is Warden. Way back at number 54, where we talked about Toxic Hazmask. Very, weird contract. When you beat it, you do get an interesting reward of a key, which can actually be used for multiple different contracts. But for this one, we'll focus on Warden because it is this ranking. And I don't really know how to explain it. Basically, you go to Bleak Barrens and unlock this random door, and then you get access to... I don't even know. It's a completely new map specifically for this quest called Farland's Folly, where you play 35 waves of these dark enemies, like these, weird, like, lore enemies or something, I don't really know. And at 35 waves, at the very last wave, Warden will appear. Every 12 seconds, he dashes, makes a shadow of himself with 7,000 HP in the target typing. They really went all out for this contract, honestly. Farland's Folly is honestly a beautiful map. It's a shame we can only play it through this quest, though if it was just in the map selection, maybe it would make it, like, not as unique. With all that out of the way, a very cool, awesome quest, and the design is incredible. But the way of getting into it, by just, like, opening a door, is a little bit weird. But otherwise, it's a pretty good contract. Also, like, the design of the Warden, I think it's pretty average. There's not much to it. And it is at 24, which is, decently high. It's still in B tier and stuff. Number 23 is Cursed Champion. To get him, you have to beat Desolate Desert in under 16 minutes. He'll spawn after the Cursed Golem. He's decently strong at 90,000 HP, and the same speed as Skeleton Rogue, so it's pretty tough. It's still beatable if you have any strategy, though, which is what I like, having a slight challenge, but nothing too crazy. A huge reason he's as high is because of his design, which, a lot of these contracts are obviously high for. And for two reasons, actually. One is that looks very sick. I mean, just look at him. He looks very, very cool. But number two, however, something that not much people know is this is actually the original design for Cursed Golem before, Cursed Golem was actually the boss. So, pretty cool reference, honestly. And number 22 is Taco Egg. I swear I'm not joking. To get it, you have to play Raining Tacos on Spectre. Then the entire map begins to rain tacos and the egg spawns. It's a very simple quest, but I like the addition of playing specific songs, and this is of course being a classic song, which helps which helps like the ranking as well. Along with this, the reward of the egg is really good, being the Spectre skin, which if you could not tell from the image somehow is 2D, which is an aspect I really enjoy on skins, such as like Concept Chef or something like that. I really like the 2D stuff. And it also has a chance to appear on any raining map in case you don't have the Game Pass, which is a cool way of making people not buy the Game Pass, honestly. Which was like my main issue with like the Pixel Egg is like it's 2,000 Robux too. I still can't get over that. Like at least this the Spectre Game Pass is not, as expensive. Not nearly as expensive. And guys, a little bit of a moment of silence for this, but at number 21 is Rock. I would like to formally apologize to all the RSG fans, Ready Psycho fans, for putting this one this low, but let's just review it first, okay? There's a googly eye in the lobby, which you get a sticker for collecting. Then you have to go into Desolate Desert, find a rock, which honestly the size of it probably makes it considered to be a boulder. And if you use a sticker, that's a little googly eye to the rock, but nothing happens. This is where the sad part comes in. You need friends. Have 2 people use a sticker in quick succession, like near the rock, and then it explodes, literally just explodes into many different rocks, which are collectible for the contract. Yes, you could do this in random servers. Even I helped out people who wanted the contract. But still, the contract is very funny though, and even makes an appearance in 2.5, which no other contract does. I guess technically the Egg of Friendship is in the Lemonade stand, but you know that's before 2.5, so you know. It also does give a very cool discount dog skin, so I think it deserves number 21. And anyways, at number 20 is Figure Egg. To get it, you have to play a solo game of the library and do the actual library quest like you would indoors. You have to find the paper with the symbols, collect books, and then figure out the code. Then once you figure it out, you have to actually put it into the Tower Heroes code, like Redeemer, I guess, and then you get it. As seen later in this with Stay in the Spam, I think it's a cool idea to use the actual code Redeemer for a contract, so I like the quest of this a lot. Yes, it's literally just copied from Doors, but that makes it a good reference as well, you know? The thing that drags us down so heavily from Stay in the Spam is the design. It is literally just the head of Figure. L-Splash could literally make a secret update, making the real Figure model have this as its head, and literally no one would notice. I mean, except those, like, you know, really, those people who are, like, really into Doors, obviously. But, like, it would be almost unrecognizable, right? And now with that out of the way, we are finally out of B tier. So, you know, now we're in A tier. Very crazy. That is how a tier list works. But these contracts are some of the best in the game. Weirdly enough, though, number 19 and number 18 are odd because they're not really contracts. Number 19 is for Verge of Heroes. Number 18 is the Hunter's Egg of Champions. They're obtained in their own egg hunts by getting every other egg. I don't really know where to place these, because most eggs in the 2023 egg hunt are not good at all. So for Verge, for Verge Heroes should be lower technically, because it makes you get worse eggs, but they're separate contracts. So I don't really know. The whole thing aside, they look really great for a reward. I like how they both have a tower on them. A thing heavily boosting their placement is the rewards they give. For Verge of Heroes gives the Mimic skin, which is a great skin, a bit overused, and sometimes confusing if someone has it both on the Yasuke skin and Lemonade Cat skin, because yes, for some reason the skin is for both. Still a good skin though. And then the Hunter's Egg of Champions, however, gives what might be considered one of the best skins in the game, Totoro for Stella. What an incredible reward for the egg hunt, honestly. Is it worth it for 2023 egg hunt? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know if this is like the right place to place them, but I think it's probably fine the way they are. With those semi-confusing placements out of the way, we can now move on to actual contracts. Number 17, Skeleton Army, or Skarmy if you play Clash Royale. Find these skeletons on Ghouling Graveyard and then heal them with Maitake. Then at the end of the game, you get swarmed with these skeleton soldier guys. I think the contract's pretty funny, honestly, and it's kind of challenging if you aren't using Hot Dog Frank, because he does kind of like solo the entire contract. Also, it reminds me of Clash Royale, so that's an immediate boost, you know. And number 16 is Zoe. I can't believe some people don't like this contract, honestly. It's just crazy to me. Zoe is found on Creepy Carnival on the Ferris wheel. You can interact with her and see that she has a hidden stat that no other thing in the game has. Scared of Ghosts. You have to use Spectre's ability on Zoe multiple times, each time spinning the wheel faster and faster. Eventually, the wheel just flies off and then starts the contract after the Ringmaster. Zoe appears on the Ferris wheel going down the path. It's such an absurd moment I won't ever forget, and I like the uniqueness of it as well. So, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Number 15 is Virtual Girl. On Isle Encore, there are these levers around the map, which when activating the first one, you get dialogue from Mirai herself. She tells you not to press levers, and of course, as any quest goes, you continue pressing the levers, obviously. Then eventually she gets fed up, and then attacks you, you know. I mean, the boss is decently difficult if you aren't using the right loadout, and since you have to time the dialogue well, kind of, since the boss spawns as soon as you finish the dialogue, it's a very unique contract, unlike any other thing in the game, honestly. And unlike any other contract, it also has dialogue. I mean, I accept, you know, Frosty Mountain, but that's like before the game, so you know, you get what I'm trying to say, though. It's pretty cool, but I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Or, I mean, at least, you know, less than some other people were, because there's some people who, like, love this contract and would put it in, like, top 5, which is just insane to me. I can't see that, but I think it's still pretty good. Number 14 is Treasured Egg. A lot of people couldn't find this one out for some reason, but I thought it was fairly easy and a very cool quest, honestly. So to go into Pirate Panic, and then you might notice the lighthouse is giving an epilepsy warning, because it is flashing its light at varying speeds, depending on where you are on the map. That's because somewhere hidden on the map is a treasure, probably in the ocean somewhere, which gives the speed of the flickering light, which the speed of the flickering light will indicate how close you are to it. Like, if it starts literally going so much that you could probably get nauseous by looking at it, then you're very close to it. Eventually the light just gives out, and then the contract comes flying out under you if you're close enough to the treasure. I really enjoy this contract. I thought it was a fun little mission to do, honestly. Along with that, I think for some reason, even though the design is very simple, literally just being a chest and a goblin, I think it might be one of the most best designed eggs in the game, honestly. At number 13 is the Aftermath egg. This one's also pretty simple, but a very good reference. You have to go into Aftermath, like the map, and then go on and then put an enemy follower on that has a wheel, like Street Sentry or something, then go on to one of the buttons and roll on it. This will activate a crane, moving a boulder up and revealing the egg. Again, very simple, but it's actually a very cool reference to the actual game of Aftermath, where you do the exact same thing on to get like some seeds or something. Along with that, the design of the egg is incredible. It's literally just a miniature version of Aftermath, and I just love that so much, honestly. On top of that, it gives you a follower with unique properties to only that follower. It's Rack from Aftermath, and you actually move like him from Aftermath. So in conclusion, am I biased because I love the game Aftermath? Yes. Number 12, Speedy Egg. Again, a very simple quest. I think I probably put this one a little bit too high, but whatever. Simply, you have to win a map before 10 minutes passes. Again, kind of like a daily quest, I think, but, you know, these quick, literally, and simple quests are what I like, if you couldn't tell. But I mean, every once in a while, a quest as big as Warren is cool as well, but in any case, it's better than RNG, at least, you know. Anyways, I think this is probably the top 3 best designs egg in the entire game. Not contract in general, but egg specifically, I'll say it honestly. This is probably like the hottest take in the entire video. Something about how simple the design is, and also the funny aspect of how fast his legs go, just makes it very pleasing to look at. I don't know why. And number 11 is Poltergeist Eggception. Before I begin talking about how to get this egg, let's go all the way back into Pixelbit's past and look at Poltergeist Perception. In case you don't know how the game works, basically just have a phone and you kill a ghost by taking pictures of them. It's very fun. It's also sad because it's a dead game now, you know. But if you are a player and not a ghost, you can take out your phone and look at some of the graveyards next to you at spawn. They're purely visual and do nothing. But reading them, it will say R.I.P. Chef, R.I.P. Lemonade Cat, R.I.P. Bite, and R.I.P. Dumpster Child. Then, in Tower Heroes, in like this Tower Heroes event, you have to go into Ghouling Graveyard and place said heroes on specific graves next to each other in that order. So, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I've stated this many different times, but I absolutely love Easter eggs in games. I think that if there are no Easter eggs in the game, then it is horrible, honestly. It makes or breaks the game for me. So already, having Poltergeist Perception, having the tower's names be on gravestones is already cool Easter egg, but then turning the entire thing into an egg is so creative. I don't know if I can truly express how much I love the idea of this egg. The only thing dragging this down is the design. I mean, come on, it's just a streamer guy. Along with this, it gives a very cool bite skin as well. So, you know. And with that out of the way, you know, 40 minutes into this contract ranking, basically, we have hit the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. We are still in A tier, but these contracts are very good. Number 10, Pastry Store. You have to go into Sweet Sunrise, and then on the giant cake, extinguish all of the candles using towers. The wiki doesn't specify if it need to be anything specific, but I remember being told it had to be with soda pop, which is what I use, and I see many other people use it that way, so I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyways, then, after the regular boss spawns, Pastry Store will follow. His difficulty is decent, pretty easy if you know what you're doing, of course, but mainly the reason he is this high is due to his design. I don't know what it is, but he looks so cool. They somehow made only a few candy models, like they just had laying over into this incredible creature, honestly. So yeah, game design wise, his quest is pretty cool, but his actual design is immaculate. Probably one of the best looking contracts in the entire game, honestly. Number 9, tallest snowman. This one also has the factor of being funny, like a lot of other ones. To activate it, you have to use a snowman follower and go in between these couple of snowmen on Glowing Glacier, and then after that, it'll say like contract complete question mark, and then it'll spawn after the boss. We also have the ability to use the snowman skin on Wizard on this, which I like having the option as well, you know. And after that, unsurprisingly, a very tall snowman will appear. His difficulty is decent depending on your strategy and who you're with, etc, etc. But it's just funny, honestly. Number 8, Stand the Spam. This one is truly incredible. By using the pop-ups sabotage on battle mode, this mischievous little guy appears. Bro knows what he's doing. You get a random phone number on the bottom of the ad, which is random for everybody, and then you input it into the code menu like Figure Egg would. But by doing this, you'll get the contract. He also has a chance of appearing on the billboard in the lobby, which is a very nice touch, honestly. The design of this contract is great. I love how you see a blacked out image of other towers complaining about Stan, and the actual design of Stan himself fits very well with the theme they were trying to go for, which I think is honestly great, honestly. Number 7, Grateful Mimic. This is probably the best idea they've ever had in Tower Heroes without it being inspired by something else, which you'll see examples of like that really high into this tier list. Like literally, basically all of the ones after this are inspired by some other, you know, game or like idea, but this one is completely unique, and it is probably the best idea that they've ever had. To get it, you have to say goodbye to the thing most desired, mimics. Which, you know, to get it, you have to let a mimic reach your base. What an absolutely golden idea. This contract was surprisingly challenging, honestly. As a time, but like by the time that mimics usually spawn, they get insta-killed. They somewhat counteracted this by adding a feature that mimics spawn with 100 defense, which is still in this game to this day, but it only lasts for 1 second. So it's not really enough reaction time. Why I say reaction time is because to get this contract, you would probably have to sell all your defenses just to let it go. And you could use a strategy of putting towers far away, but you can't really like grind for like a regular mimic or something, you know. And it's, you know, whatever, you know. Still very cool. Also, the design of the actual contract is very funny. I mean, come on, like look at him. Number 6. Squiggles. He's such a good contract that he has become a cultural icon for the TH community, honestly. To get it, you have to find this cute little anglerfish chilling on Radiant Reef, then murder it like you do with every other minigame. Then after that, he'll simply spawn after the boss. What else could happen? What? Yeah, they really went the extra mile with this contract to make it look cool. Of course, the actual quest to spawn the behemoth is kind of boring, but the design makes up for this a lot. Also, like the jump scare of this guy. Just what an absolutely incredible contract. You just had to be there, you know. Like you might disagree with, you know, if you're a new gen Tower Heroes player, weren't here for Squiggles when it first released, you probably wouldn't get it, honestly, you know. I hate to be like that, but, you know, it was a very, very good contract. And now, we are finally on the top 5 best contracts in the game. We are still in the A tier, but it's only for one more contract. This leads me to number 5, Virtual Egg. To get it, you have to go to the fan art board, and by going onto Lemonade Cat, it'll, like, be there. This was the first ever mini-game contract, which are the best contracts, let's be real here. The game is basically just a Tamagotchi simulation in Tower Heroes. Overall, the reason it's lower than the others is because the gameplay is not that fun. I've never really been into this type of gameplay, so hopefully you guys understand. The design is great, though. It's not seen by basically any other contract in game, or even anything else in the game besides, like, the virtual pet skin, but that's also inspired by Tamagotchi, if someone didn't know. So, who really knows? Whatever. But once you get your pet to the max happiness, you get the egg. Very cool, but, you know, I think, you know, since it was their first attempt at, like, a minigame type egg, you know, they tried, and honestly, I'll give them that, right? I think it was a very unique idea to do, and I think they did well with it, but of course, it could have been better. Now we are in S tier. This is the best of the best, literally the best 4 contracts in the game. And that leads me to number 4, Lil Chip. This is another minigame type contract, and yes, there is absolutely a lot of bias towards this one. I'm sure everyone already likes Lil Chip, maybe less after they kept reusing him, but as a veteran Cookie Clicker fan, this one made me so happy. It's literally just Cookie Clicker. Basically, you have to go onto the fan art board, go into Chef, and activate the minigame, and once you get to 50,000 cookies, you'll get the contract. But another cool thing is that if you get to 100 million cookies, you get the Golden Little Chip contract, a secret contract not shown on the list. If you did watch Duck Adams' video, actually, you realize that he included more contracts, being Golden Little Chip, Level 2 of the Bloom Pal minigame, and the 520 contract. The thing is, I just kind of grouped these together with their already existing contracts, but he counted them separately. If I were to rank them, I would put all of them one above their original, like, base placements, which you'll see in a tiny bit, but I consider them, not, like, separate contracts. But anyways, back to Lil Chip. They were used to make a lot. The biggest example was probably the Lil Chipocalypse, which had the unique gimmick of working like Cookie Clicker, being able to click the enemies to wear them down and gain mana. Now, from this screenshot alone, you might be able to understand that I am a fan of Little Chip. Just a little bit. Number 3, Egg of the Sky. People complain about difficulty in games a lot, and sometimes I do as well, okay? But this contract is also a minigame type contract, and the difficulty of it is insane. They even had to nerf it, that's how hard it was. But honestly, I really enjoyed it. Despite how I may have acted on stream, I enjoyed every second of it. Sometimes off stream, I even joined Tower Heroes just to play it again, honestly. Like, I loved how they also made a level 2. I'm sorry this sounds like sarcasm, by the way. I'm not being sarcastic. I actually love this contract and the difficulty of it. The follower you get it as well was the first follower to allow you to fly. They quickly copied this mechanic to other followers after the success of it, but it was really cool originally, honestly. If you somehow need an explanation of the contract, here's some video of what it was like. Yeah, as you could, it's kind of like, I don't know why, it kind of works like, I think the whole reason it was difficult was because of like the physics of it. I felt like you were constantly on ice like the entire time, but I think that this deserves the ranking it currently has, but there is one simple downside. Most other minigame contracts have a sticker in order to replay them, but this one, unfortunately, does not. If it did, it would probably number 1. And yeah, so. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hottest take of the entire video. I think I'll be getting flamed for putting this up so high, even higher than Egg of the Sky, which that was not meant to sound that good, but it did. And however, I think it is what I think, and that is what this ranking is all about. So please welcome number 2, the second best contract in the game, is Kusari. On the service level, this is a very simple quest. All you had to do was go into Title Takedown, play a fun little fishing minigame, which gives you a set reward system. Then Kusari would spawn, and then you have to kill them. The boss is decently difficult, having the same mechanics as like very fast, where it would wrap around the map, and overall, it was a pretty B tier contract. The design as well, not that crazy, besides the little minigame, which looks pretty good. So why is this so high? Well, allow me to introduce you to possibly the greatest reward for any contract in Tower Heroes history. By getting Kusari, you get these 2 stickers. They go hand in hand, honestly, but let's focus on the main one, the one that everybody loves, fishing game. This spot Tower Heroes is currently in, like as of creating this video, in general, is not that good. It's gotten a little boring, and the updates are alright, and the recent crafting mechanics is pretty meh. So during the dark ages, in quotation marks, that we are currently in, the fishing game is probably the most fun you could possibly have in Tower Heroes currently. The game, on paper, is incredibly simple. When you click, the yellow square goes ahead a little bit, and then the longer the fish is in the yellow square, a bar will in the middle will go up. Get the bar to the end, you get the fish. This now is one of the best parts of the game, the variety you get. instead of coding in just 2 fishes or 3, they made so much. I don't actually know how much it is specifically, but it's got to be like at least over 12 unique ones, right? Each one moves in a specific way that makes it fun to play, since it's not the same thing over and over again. And along with this, the minigame sticker is miles ahead of the little chip sticker, simply because it won't go away. The main problem with the little chip sticker is that you can only get like 10 cookies before the sticker goes away. With the fishing game, however, it doesn't go away until you get the fish or you give up. This game is so fun that you can go into any Tower Heroes stream I've done since getting Kusari, and there will be a time in which everyone is fishing at the same time. Now looking into the other sticker you get, something called Fish, very creative. It's actually a very cool sticker. What it'll do is it'll show the last fish that you caught in the minigame, and if you didn't catch any yet, it'll show the basic minnow fish. But this is very helpful in times where you catch a fish they might have like barely seen ever and want to show it off. You know, you might not agree with this being number 2, but I think it absolutely deserves it. It brings a new way to enjoy the game, which is much needed this time. I don't think I will ever stop fishing. And now, 10 pages into the script, we have reached number 1, Chuck's Diner. I mean, come on, you knew this was going to be number 1. In case you somehow don't know, it's literally just FNAF, but there's also something cool about this contract, the actual quest behind it. You have to use the key sticker you got from the Toxic Hazmask contract and use it to open a door in an abandoned alleyway, then go on a whole fetch quest using the streamer skin to take pictures, and eventually you find a code, and then eventually get this sticker, and then by using this to travel the artboard, you activate Chuck's Diner. This still works to this day, which is a huge reason as to why it's high as well. It can be replayed. Once you do this, it's basically just a recreation of FNAF appears, and you can even activate Streamer Markiplier. I don't know if I have to explain how incredible this is for a tower defense game, especially for a contract. It's not even like they made an entire update around this. No, they made an entire recreation of FNAF with new characters, unique aspects, funny Easter eggs, and 520, which is the setting the game to impossible difficulty, basically, which when beaten gives you the Golden Chuck follower, which is just Chuck but shiny. It's a great flex to flex with. All for a contract. What an incredible feat for this game, honestly. And they have said they're probably never going to be putting this much effort into contracts again, which is sad, but I think what they've created is truly incredible. So, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this one's a lot longer than any usual video I've ever made, honestly. But it was very fun to make this video. I enjoyed remembering all the suffering and joy I had doing each contract. And by the way, I do just want to say that I really like the contract system. And even though I hate the RNG ones and Clockwork Egg and whatnot, I think it's probably the best system for an event. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Subscribe, like, whatever. We're like 5 subs away from 4K as making the script. And for now, but not for long. Toodles, everybody.